30 and 2. Yea, whereunto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished. For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former time, desolate and waste. Who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. It's talking about when Esau was in the caves of rocks. That's what they was eating. They was eating juniper roots, and, you know, for
like
their
how they
food,
do today.
vegetations.
Yeah.
You know, Esau be all big on that little vegetarian and
Seaweed.
seaweeds. Yeah,
Yeah.
vegetarians. You know, that's what
Which a lot of that stuff is actually like superfoods.
Yeah,
It is.
but that's how they survived in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
So the Lord had gave them that, you know.
But he show you through in his media, the caveman is so easy. A caveman can do it. The subliminal. We used to always bring that out, but it shows you that the so-called white man knows his history. All right, and he reveals it to the world, but he doesn't go in depth. He keeps it from the knowledge of the curriculum in the school books. He keeps it from the knowledge of the world. But that's what we're set up to do, to bring it out, because it's this time of his judgment.
It says, they were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. Right, because you got Esau always gonna be Esau. So in the ancient world, Esau was being wicked. He was stealing. He was doing the same thing that he's doing now today. So they had to be chased out in that time. And I remember they had that pigmentation upon them. They had to. It's like they didn't have that pigmentation. They was actual Edom. Okay, that's who Job was talking about. And obviously Job hated Esau, so they was chased into the mountains. It says to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in the rocks. And you got is that the picture?
Yeah, that's it. Right there.
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna show y'all they ancient fortified cities, which is actually Mount Petra,
You got
Mount
more
Seir.
pictures? Yeah, they got that.
And take examine the architecture.
You keep it on.
Yeah, you keep it on it.
Looks as if
Yeah,
it was
because-
wrong, don't it?
Yeah,
Still
yeah,
got the
yeah.
beams and shit.
Yeah,
go
that's
ahead.
what they.
Yeah. And now they got the same infrastructure up in the society now. That's why I said up in Obadiah that they dwelt in the cliffs of the rocks.
Yeah, that's
They
what
whole their whole spirit is modeled around having cement, concrete, rocks,
Go
and
back
high
on
towers
the
and shit.
picture.
Man.
The website came up.
Yeah, so just like the brother was saying, you know the people.
Yeah, the people. You see the people
Yeah.
every day.
You know.
And then look,
You know them by their
Travel
traits.
Shop Turkey,
Yeah.
and they advertising that now. We was just speaking on that, how they advertising it to go to it, and there it is right there, Jordan Tours. They got that like it's a how you say it, a tourist attraction.
Tourist
You
attraction.
can get it on that. Yeah. This is how it's being advertised to the people now.
Yep.
But we just making all this up. We just
Yeah.
reaching for straws and shit.
Yeah, but Esau like his history,
Yeah.
To him, it's it's glorious, for him to come from nothing to something. But the Lord, rose them up.
But they won't let you know that that's Edom.
Exactly.
Or they Edom where they came from.
Yeah. Because they know people really believe in this Bible.
Exactly.
And it's only judgment in these scriptures for Edom. So you ain't finna know all that. They just want you to think this is one of the ancient biblical cities, that these people Edom used to be there, and wow, but they got the motherfucker preserved.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell motherfuckers then did what do they call that when they fixing it up and
Refurbished or
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, they wouldn't have
Cause
touched
look at
that
that.
up.
They keep it up. Yeah, of course.
it looked brand new.
That's
They
their home.
renovated that shit. They were in that. They touched it up.
Yeah. But the scriptures breaking down what kind of people they come from and who they are. So we'll go back in the scriptures. Mount Petra, Mount Seir.
It says verse I'm stuff 6, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in the rocks, which we just saw. Among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together.
Right, so it's telling you what kind of animalistic state that they was actually in. Bent over like a bunch of
Caveman.
right, caveman, y'all, with
So
no
easy.
language.
Yeah.
They were
So
speaking the language of Ugg.
Yeah.
Ugg, Ugg, Ugg. You know what I'm saying? They were sounding like straight frogs, which this book gonna prove. Yep. And one more verse and you can get into the book. This is Job 30 and 8. It says, they were children of fools. Yea, children of base men. They were violent than the earth. Right, they was more evil and wicked. That's why they had to get kicked out into the caves. Okay? So the children of fools. Go ahead with the
Alright, this is just kind of tore off, but this is the 13 tribe book
Yeah.
from Arthur Carson.
Just show this one.
Yeah.
That's just one. Right, which was a rabbi Jew who actually brought out the truth about his people and his heritage.
Yeah. And that goes back to the scripture that we brought out earlier that in Psalms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
64
Psalm
and
64.
7. Yeah, 64, 7, and 8.
Yeah.
Yep.
That he shall make their own tongue wag upon themselves. See, this ain't no black man. We just man.
Right, exactly. This is history.
This is they people.
You mad because it's coming out.
Yeah.
And what they do is they say, oh, the black man is mad because, that's just a way for you to deter the truth. Don't nobody want to deal with the truth. This is Psalm 64 and 8. It says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away.
And that's what's gonna happen now when the brother reads this book to let you know, according to the scripture, that this account actually happened in history.
Alright, this is the 13 tribe book, page 37. It say they are in respect of their language and constitution the most repulsive of men. Their language is like the chatter of starlings. At a day's journey, there's a village called Arqua. Whose inhabitation are called Kadals. Their language sound entirely like the croaking of frogs.
Yeah, so he ain't just say that statement to be saying, oh, they sound like this. No, we got this out of historical books. He said that's 37.
Base men.
And I'm gonna jump down too. It said the next morning of the Turks met us. He was ugly in build. Because some Edomites was tall, big, and hairy and red and shit, and they was built.
Like the commercial.
Yep.
So he's a caveman can do it.
Yeah, you know how they
That's how they-
motherfucking shoulders up here.
Yeah,
big
hunchback
back,
and
broad
shit.
shoulders,
Yeah,
humpback. Yeah, the ugly build.
Hunchback
yeah,
of Notre
yeah.
Dame. That's why they make movies like
Right,
that.
yeah, that was
Disney
Esau.
movie. But that's how Esau was.
Yeah, it said the next morning one of the Turks met us, which the Khalifa, mentioned. It said he was ugly in build, dirty in appearance, contemptible in manners, base in nature.
Goes back to Job.
Do we write this stuff about? They gotta be writing about it.
Right.
They gotta be doing that then, huh? Talking about us. We ain't writing this.
Yeah.
But Esau wants you to steer away from the truth. That's why he lied about history and who he is, where he's
From the
from.
beginning, yeah.
That's why he said he's this. He was the more. No, they can't say that. They could say that they were the Israelites, or that they were. Who else did they say they were when they wasn't? Oh, the Mongols, or they show you in all these movies
Samurai.
that everything ancient has everything to do with them. That's because they were excluded from the history. Really, in reality, they was excluded from history, and they fought their way up of being basement. So that ain't nothing but a stain on their history. Right now, the time period in this is like the brother was bringing out earlier, around the golden age of Islam. All right, when they came up, and that's prophecy. When they start to come up in the world and be recognized and start taking over civilization and start building their kingdoms and start building their strongholds. This is part of it. It's all historic. It's all history.
That's right.
I say, and we were moving through a heavy rain on Slakia. It said the next morning of the Turks met us. He was ugly in build, dirty in appearance, contemptible in manners, base in nature, and we were moving through the heavy rain. Then he said, "Halt." Then the whole caravan of 3,000 animals and 5,000 men halted. Then he said, "Not a single one of you is allowed to go on." We halted, then obeying his orders. Then we said to him, "We are friends of the Kadurkans, viceroy." He began to laugh and said, "Who is the Kadurkans?" I shit on his beard. I shit on his beard, exactly the same.
But that's the same behavior that they showed when they were the Greeks.
Dirty.
Yeah, and when the Greco-Roman Empire came in before the Roman Republic, because the Romans came up, but they was trying to get everybody to be part of the society, and they was allowing everybody to come in. But the Greco-Roman Empire, that's the same structure that they had, that ill, vile perverseness.
Yeah, and it showed it in the movie too. Once he killed the soldier after he poured the
And Caligula
liquor into his mouth.
Yeah,
The woman actually jumped over the body and started dancing and started to urinate on the body and lean down on it and, with no panties on anything, and take his blood and rub it on her vagina and danced around with it. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah,
on a
that's
dead
the
corpse.
Yeah, that's the same animalistic.
Ritual.
That's sexual magic.
All that shit.
And they get
Even
all
if
that.
they don't know it's sexual
Yeah,
magic,
they do it
because
naturally.
They naturally fucking wicked.
Wicked.
Yeah. But that's the knowledge that they always had too.
Yeah, that's their nature. That's
Yeah,
what y'all
just
try to
nature. I
install.
can't
That's
say
it's
it.
their
in
nature.
there.
That's
I
why I
can't say
say-
it better than that.
installed that in.
But
Yeah,
it shows you. But what does he perpetuate today? What's being propagated today? That same type of
wicked.
yeah.
Why you think they had that
perversion.
fucking them two bitches, that 2 girl 1 cup shit?
Yeah.
Bitches was shitting in each other's mouths and shit like that.
Yeah. The so-called white man condones that. He condones pedophilia.
And that shit blew up.
Yeah.
Nambala.
Yeah. But they try to use a so-called black person to bring in homosexuality and perverseness so they can hide themselves behind
That's a
the
agenda.
curtain.
Yeah.
But we know they own this. They own the fabric of the society. They fashion it the way they want to fashion it. It's like
And they use Judah because Judah the top tribe in Israel. Judah gets everybody to follow him. Because the prophecy was that Judah, thou art he whom thy brother shall praise. So if the 12 tribes of Israel who got flavor, who are the salt of the world, worship the top tribe, which is Judah, which the tribe Yahushua came out of, what you think the rest of the world gonna do?
Easy.
So
You get
In
us.
all
you get
reality,
It's like,
we is the brother of
Esau.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so.
We the counter of what he is.
Yeah.
He the
Good,
righteous, he the wicked,
Yeah.
good, evil, flavor, no flavor.
they show you in that movie Virtuality. You ever seen Virtuality with Denzel Washington?
Washington, yep.
And the white dude that played him was
Was it Spacey? I mean, the white dude who played in
It was Kevin Spacey.
yeah, Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey.
But I believe, but they kind of showed you that they were like the total opposite. Like they was like the perfect nemesis. But they show you in the movie Virtuality.
Yeah.
Was it Kevin?
He said he shit on his beard, right? Then he said, beard, I gave him a few loaves of bread. He took them and said, continue your journey. I have taken pity on you. That's the life of Esau, man.
Yeah. We had to show accounts of him, and then snap you back into his history.
And the one thing I want to bring this out about when you mentioned the white women shitting motherfuckers' mouths and playing with their vagina and all that. Now this goes back in the caves when they was in the caves and how nasty cracker
What
women.
time period was this?
What time period? I think
It has
before. I think way
during the
before
Byzantine.
740 AD.
Well, yeah, but
I don't
they
see
don't
it.
have no time period of exactly where.
No, they got it in the book, but you got to go a couple pages back.
Okay.
I know way
Well,
before.
we'll find it the time.
But I know way before their ass got clinked up.
Yeah.
What page that
Just
that's
that scripture.
39. Well, go ahead, rethink just a little bit on that.
Okay. I'm gonna read this real quick. This page 38.
South Friday, yeah, 309.
Google. Who was the king at this time? Google that, and we'll find out.
Yeah, King and Bullen. I think it's 6. Is the 8? What you say? 8th century.
740
AD.
Yep, 8th century.
8th century.
8th century.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the same thing.
Because I'm looking at this and say 921.
So it was right before they came in, right about 500 years before the Renaissance, when they came back into power, which is actual scriptural, it's prophecy on how they came into to rule or to basically rule. Like, if
Is that the
y'all,
Obadiah?
I got Revelations 20.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, before you read that,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta go back to the Greek, Rome.
Right, and then
Jake took over.
Right,
And then
Then
come
they
into that.
came back to
Exactly.
that.
Yeah, because they rose and then they
Okay.
fell.
Yeah, so we don't
And
want
then
to
they
go
rose
too further
again.
in that book.
Yeah, we ain't want to go too far in that. Then we
I mean,
just bring
but
that
we
back.
was using it as a snapshot to show how they is
They was in the caves.
and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the caves
Okay.
to show their nature. But yeah,
So
but,
the
But it is
first,
not- It's not by coincidence he said base men.
right?
Yeah,
exactly.
That's scriptural.
That-
And
right,
it-
right. He
exactly.
got that out.
That's how
Yeah,
you
we know
refer
he got
to
that out the scripture
Yeah.
and their behavior.
But first, the beginning of Esau's history, how he was known was the Greek Empire.
The Greek.
Yep.
Okay.
So classical biblical baby name.
Yeah, yeah. But this got the wrong.
That's the
so,
wrong.
so you got to do the Obadiah. I mean, I keep saying fuck Obadiah.
Dang.
The Maccabees.
Yeah.
How
Oh,
when,
yeah, that's right.
Alexander came into power.
Right. Because the world will tell you it ain't about race, but all throughout history it was always about race.
Right.
The only reason why nations started to come together is because of Esau. Where it says Esau, he unto himself all.
Yeah, yeah. Esau. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
it tell
know
you in
Right.
it tell you in there. It tell you in there.
Yeah,
I don't know like what
Maccabees.
what empire.
You can go right. You
I
can
don't
go
know
right.
what king
Go right
Japheth
into it.
was.
How many minutes we got on there?
Two compiled historical evidence which indicate
First Maccabees.
4.
4 minutes.
Yeah.
Damn, I wish I had my
That's right before.
Cut.
my one book